Let's begin listening to this quote from Pierre de la Deschardins.
Someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. When we think about love, we don't usually go to the fire metaphor. But I wanted to talk to you today about what I think is the kind of love that Jesus, who was our way shower elder brother, was teaching and demonstrating. It's not your garden variety love. It's not necessarily make you feel good, at least in the short term. But it's like one of those New Year's resolutions, that you may be getting ready to make again, where you in some sense deprive yourself or set yourself on a course of a discipline, new behavior, new getting rid of one habit, taking on a new one that's uncomfortable. Yeah? Do we know that? Quitting something, starting something, more of this, less of that. And the discomfort comes from the fact that something that has become very familiar to us and has it's a groove that we find very easy to stay in. We're now being asked to leave that groove, regardless of how familiar it may be, to experience something very different that actually in the long run, and maybe even possibly in the short run, will give us much greater satisfaction. And will be taking us down a pathway of our deepest purpose for life, our deepest spiritual goal. Every morning I get up and I intend to live love, to be loving, compassionate, that everyone belongs in my world, that everyone deserves my agape love anyway, even if I don't like them. And what I've noticed is that it's easy to profess, and it's really difficult to do it. And there have been a few times in my life when I have endured what I thought I couldn't endure in order to get my heart open to another person. And it was costly, though, And what was costly was me feeling that I was right and they were wrong. And boy, we cling to that being right, don't we? Especially when you're right. And of course, when we're in conflict with another person, we are, from one perspective, right. I'm right. I'm right about this, and you were wrong. This is not for the weak or the timid. This is for people who are willing to stand in the fire of right and wrong. And take a stand for keeping the heart open to other people, even when we disagree with them. I don't know if that's up for you at all these days, but. And the reason we do that is not just to be generous or altruistic, or let me give this to you. Sort of I'm higher, like, all right, I'm the bigger person, kind of thing. Yeah. But we do it because It's an expression of our highest nature. It's where we really want to go, and it's the only doorway to freedom. Something has to die in order for us to emerge into this love that we really are. And all that has to die of all those false notions of who we are and the clinging to those stories of what I need in order to be okay. That field that Rumi talked about a field beyond right and wrong, I'll meet you there, you know that one? That was not a field of beautiful wildflowers, folks. That's a field, that's a landmine. That's a burning field. That's a field where my ego has to be consumed by truth, by love. And we're all invited. And most people go, oh, I thought Jesus and truth and everything was just going to make me feel good. It will, once you're connected to the truth. And in the meantime, we've got some work to do. We've got some subtracting to do. I've got to stand in the fire of my own transformation so that I can realize this love that everyone talks about is unconditional. By what anybody does, by what anybody says. It's only by the decision we make, the decision I make of what I do with what happens and how I allow it either to burn me into believing that I've been diminished, or to allow that part of me that thinks it's diminished to be transformed by the fire of this kind of love. And then realize that nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. And therein lies the teachings of Jesus on love, and my lesson every day, and yours. Amen.